everyone, it's Anthony back with another video on... What is that there? I think that's just light. Oh, it's my little oil change sticker. Oh my gosh, let me just take that off. Hi! It's Anthony back with another video here on Single and Placing. Hi. Apparently, I was not ready to start filming. Oh my gosh. Hi, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, weekday, weekend, week, month, evening, morning, overnight, all of that good stuff. It's vlog time. You know what time it is. We're doing a vlog, and it's the weekend. It is Saturday at the time of filming this. I actually just put Mary's live on pause to film this clip, so I hope she's okay with that. But we are running around, bopping around today. First things first is I'm going to run to the bank, and then I'm going to meet some friends for brunch in downtown Golden. So I'm making my way there. And then after that, there's a couple of skincare products that I want to snag. I have a cleanser that came out fairly recently that I'm curious about. There's a new oil to foam cleanser from CeraVe that is really popular in Europe, but it just came out in the US a couple of weeks ago. So I want to get that all picked up back to the house. And then we'll probably hang out at the house a little bit. I'm going to diamond paint. And I'll talk about, I guess I can talk about it now, but I'm like half a section done with away from being done with Transparent from Diamond Art Club and You May Art, like so close, like almost less than half a section. If I would have had an extra 30 minutes, I probably could have gotten it done, but I needed to get over to meet my friends for lunch. I was like, it's so hard walking away from your project when you're that close to being finished, and I had to set it down, and I was like, ugh. So I'm gonna get home, finish that, probably film the finish and review video, maybe get that posted either tomorrow or some point next week at the time of filming this. And then we'll see where we're at with time. I might do a little housework, keep diamond painting, or just do random around the house stuff until a little bit later. And then me and Apollo are going to go on a hike, which I'll bring you on. I wanted to do a later afternoon hike because it is hot. It's only 11:30 and it's getting up to 90 degrees now. So I want to wait till we get into the late afternoon when it starts to cool down a little bit, and then take Apollo up, and we'll probably do a fairly decent drive up into the mountains, I think, just so it is cooler, and go on a hike. So I'll talk about the majority of our diamond painting stuff, just chit-chatting stuff then. My last video that I filmed, the last vlog I filmed was this past Monday, or Monday of this week. I don't have a ton to update everyone on. It's just been another week of just working and walking Apollo and diamond painting, and that's really about it. But I'm sure, I like to gab, so we'll come up with something to talk about. But yeah, just kind of an easy Saturday, and then tomorrow I'd like to go see Oppenheimer. That's what the plan was. But I'm not super sure. I haven't gotten 100% confirmation from everyone that was supposed to go. And so we'll see. It would be nice to find one of those places. Mary was talking about it on our live. I'd like to find one of those places that has like a full meal, like you do dinner, all that stuff while you're watching the movie. But I don't know if my friends are into that style of theater or if they like just a regular one. So we'll see. I'm using this new sunscreen. It's a mist. I'll talk about it more when we go on the hike, but it's this mist sunscreen, and like I said, I'll talk about it, but whoopsie, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm here, I'm just waiting in line, and my phone overheated because it's up here in the windshield in the direct sun. So yeah, I have some bopping around to do. I'll talk more about the sunscreen. When in the shade, it's not as bad, but in the sun, it's like, it's a little too, it's going from dewy to greasy or shiny, which I guess I should expect from a spray sunscreen, but I'm not loving it. So anyway, we'll talk more about it. I'm going to do what I have to do here, go to brunch, and then I'll probably see you probably at the trailhead or maybe in the car again at some point throughout today's little vlog trip. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okie dokie, we are recording. Perfect. Let's go. Okie dokie. Hi, everyone. So we ended up finding our way back to our normal little hike here just outside of Boulder. This isn't the one, it's in the same area as the one we went to last time, but it's like the other half of the trail. So the total loop is, if you connect them all together, you can go for about 10 miles on this thing. So this is just our normal short loop, which is about 3 point something miles typically. My initial plan was to go on a longer day hike, but thunderstorms started rolling in, and I checked the weather at some of our frequented day hike areas, either up north towards Red Feather Lakes or Fort Collins, or down south near Colorado Springs, and there was storm warnings all up and down. So I decided to stay close. I'm actually getting drizzled on. You can see some of the storm clouds around us. So we've got a little storm cloud directly above us that's just barely sprinkling. From the looks of the roads, a lot more rain must have come through here, or a good sprinkling earlier, so we just missed it, I think. So we're on the tail end. So just a very light sprinkle. So if it does get more intense or I see any signs of lightning, as usual, we'll make our way back to the car. But yeah, and there was a decent amount of people in the parking lot today here, so we might do a lot of on and off with Apollo, just keep him wrangled, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, I forgot to bring it. Dang it. I was talking in the last clip about that sunscreen. So it is from the brand called Vacation. I think they're a relatively new skincare brand or sunscreen brand. They maybe came out a year ago, maybe a little bit more. And I got their original regular sunscreen, which I'm wearing, the body sunscreen, which I'm wearing right now. And it's awesome. It is SPF 50. It has just a little bit of that sunscreen feel, but it's not overly heavy or greasy. But it smells incredible. It smells like a vacation on the beach kind of day, like a beach resort. Their marketing or their whole brand image is like 80s Miami. And so it definitely gives you those vibes. It's got like the coconutiness, the banana, a slight floral, slight fruity, kind of ocean, water, sand, beach. It's like the perfect summer vacation on the beach resort scent. It's like that quintessential scent. There's a little bit of that floral, and it's just fantastic. And so I immediately fell in love with their branding. I immediately fell in love with the nostalgia of it all. And so I was like, well, I need to get some more stuff from this brand. So I went back to Ulta and got their Super Spritz SPF 50 spray. And I'm usually not a mist sunscreen kind of guy, because they don't apply as evenly. It's a mist, so it's not like a lotion that you're spreading. So if you're outside and there's any kind of breeze, half of that's just going right out, right into the wind, and you don't get it on your face. So it's just a little harder to get full consistent coverage. And if you're the type of person like me that likes to make sure I'm applying enough sunscreen, it's hard to measure out that quarter teaspoon of spray, And so, but I was in love with the branding. I was in love with everything they were doing. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Even though I know better, I'm going to do it anyway. The other thing that a lot of spray sunscreens will have is denatured alcohol. And so although I do avoid denatured alcohol in my skincare pretty much all the time. Like I rarely will pick up something that has denatured alcohol in it. And I say that because there's also other types of alcohols, like I think it's called cetyl alcohol. It's like CETYL or something like that. There's some other alcohols that are fatty alcohols, and those actually aren't bad. But if you see alcohol denat, denatured alcohol, that's a drying ingredient. It helps things just to dry down a little bit more when you put them on your skin. So those with like oily skin, a lot of times you'll see that in those types of products, because it just helps to, once you apply it, it just helps it to dry down. Hold on, sorry. There we go. Let's go this way. So yeah, it's also used to help ingredients absorb into the skin, kind of. It just helps as like a vehicle for some ingredients, but for the most part, it's just to help something that might otherwise be really heavy feeling or greasy feeling dry down a little bit faster. This little lake is so full. During the winter time, this is completely empty. It was just like a valley. And then throughout the spring, it's been getting higher and higher as we've been getting so much rain. And now it's like almost like a little beach right here when it was just a little field, a little meadow. That's crazy. Good thing I have you on your leash, otherwise you'd be out there splashing around. So I try to avoid it. You'll see it, you see it less and less these days. You see it a lot in sunscreens though, that are supposed to be like dry finish, finishes sheer, non-greasy. Sometimes you'll see a lot of denatured alcohol in those products because it helps to create that feeling. So of course it was in this mist. I saw it one before I bought it and I was like, even though none of this speaks to like stuff I like, I'm gonna try it because I love this brand's vibe. If Editing Anthony can remember, I'll insert a shot of that product and I'll insert a couple shots of their branding and stuff because it's just so retro and cool, and I love it. Like, I would love if my personal style was very much like what they have on their site. Like, that's in a different world, that would totally be my aesthetic. So anyway, so yeah, I was like, forget it. I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. I want to try their products. So I got this Super Spritz SPF 50 and I put it on for the first time today. And the first thing I did was do it in the morning before I left, just spraying it directly to my face, which is how you're supposed to do it. And oh my gosh, like the alcohol just completely choked me. It was very pungent of like rubbing alcohol. Come on. Very pungent. It kind of takes your breath away as if you spray it on your face. But I did the best I could. I kind of just held my breath and did it. But I could immediately feel that it just wasn't the right texture for me. It looks like a clear liquid, but it's a little oily, but yet very drying feeling. Like you can feel it drying on your face and like zapping moisture out. Hold on. Good job, buddy. Good job. But yeah, you spray it on and it felt exactly as I was expecting it to feel. Just kind of that, it's a slightly oily feeling, but you can tell that alcohol is drying because it actually gives a false cooling effect because it's evaporating on your skin. And so anytime I feel that, I'm like, oh no, my skin's not going to be happy with this. And even by the time I got to brunch, my skin felt like has that like tightness to it from just being zapped of the moisture that's on the surface. But then I still had a little bit of that sheen. And to the touch, it isn't thick. Like, it doesn't feel like I have a thick lotion on. So that is a good thing. It feels very silky, satiny finish to the touch. But there's still that like sheen. Once the alcohol's gone, it's left that sheen of like, you know, sunscreen ingredients and whatever oils they're using. So it was exactly as I expected. I did not like it, but of course, 2 hours went by. That's all I had on me. That's what I brought for the day. So I had to reapply it once again in the car, spraying it directly on my face. And then at this time, my eyes started stinging because I was getting the sunscreen a little too close to my eyes, but that's hard to prevent when you're trying to spray it on. And 2 layers of that stuff, and my skin just like, it's like that, I think I mentioned it before, but you get that saran wrap skin when everything's just really dry and tight. Come on, let's go this way. So I was like, oh, this isn't going well. I don't like this. So we got home after I did my running around and everything. So I stopped by Ulta. There was a new oil cleanser that I got, and then I needed to get a little scrubby mitt for the bathroom, like to scrub in the shower. So I got that stuff. There was a cleanser that I really wanted from Sephora, but I kind of forgot to go get it. I went from Ulta straight to the house, and I got home and I was like, oh, dang it. There's another errand I needed to run, but at that time I was like, I'm already home. So I got home, I finished Transparent. It only took like another 30 minutes or so. Got that done, and then immediately filmed my finish and review for that. So that's filmed, it just needs to be edited and posted. I think I can let you off. I think I can trust you, hopefully. Let's go. So it just needs to get scheduled. I think I'll put that up tomorrow at the time of filming this. We'll see. Sir? What are you looking at? Let's go. Let's go, big boy. It's hot, huh? It's like 10 degrees cooler here. It's in the 80s, but with the direct sun, it feels a lot warmer, at least for me. So yeah, got that filmed. I went ahead and sealed it with the Tombow Mono Aqua Glue, as recommended by Christiane Hair. She has a video on how she seals her diamond paintings, if you want to go take a look at that. So sealed it and let that sit so it can cure. So I'll come, when I go back tonight, I'll paint the borders and pop some command strips on it. I think I'm gonna hang it in the hallway for now. Either the hallway or my room, I haven't decided. So it might also be one that I'll figure that out when I get home. I'll see how much wall space it takes up, but it might also be one that I bring to the office. So, but that's done. It looks great. I'm super happy with it. I was a little worried about all the enhancement drills. I added 21 enhancement drills to that, so nearly half of the colors I partially or fully swapped. Apollo, let's go. It's just probably a bug. It's probably just a bug. But I think it looks great. I'm super happy with it. So that finish and review, like I said, will go up soon. He just completely decided to follow his nose. This way. This way, buddy. Good boy. What are you smelling? What are you smelling, huh? So yeah, when I get home, I'll probably just take it easy. I've got some laundry that needs to be folded, you know, odds and ends. We might go out tonight. I'm not sure what everyone's plans are. I think Oppenheimer it may or may not happen. We might not go see a movie tomorrow. I'm not sure. Everyone was kind of like, I don't know why people were really stoked. A couple of my friends were really stoked to see it. And now that it's out, they're like, I think because it's so long. It's like a 3-hour something movie. Hi. So we'll see. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm probably going to get home, blast the AC, drink a bunch of water, and chill out. The one thing I did want to do, though, is film a video. I'd like to do a get unready with me, and if you're unfamiliar with what that means, in the skincare YouTube world, a lot of the videos are called Get Ready With Me, where someone shows you their entire morning routine, step by step, what they use in the morning. And then unready is the, like, some people call it go to bed with me, but I don't know if I like the connotations around that phrasing. So other people will say get unready with me. So that's your nighttime routine, what you do in the PM. So I'll probably do that when I get home. Even if we decide to go back out tonight, the main difference between, or one of the main differences between the two routines is sunscreen. I put sunscreen on in the morning throughout the day, but I don't put it on before I go to bed. So that won't be part of it, but ideally when we go out, it will have been dark already, so I won't need to worry about applying sunscreen at night. So that's the goal. I'm really excited because I haven't done one of those in a super long time. And so it'll be cool to show everyone what I'm currently using. Usually people will do some editing where you actually see someone putting like their cleanser on. So I'll have to get back into good practice of doing my editing skills if I can. Other times I'll just be like, all right, I'm gonna go wash my face, I'll be back. So you can also do it that way. We'll see. So yeah, film a get unready with me. You can see my nighttime routine of the stuff I'm currently using. It's not favorites. It's not like that's the only thing I ever use. It's just what I currently am using today. So it'll completely change in a month. I typically swap out my entire routine once a month when I'm doing it for reviews. So it's like every month you get a new morning and nighttime routine, and then, oh, I'm liking it, or I'm not too sure. It's like a lot of that. So that should be fun. And then, so yeah, that's the plan for today. But when we were getting ready to leave to come up here, I needed to reapply my sunscreen. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this thing one last shot, see if this way works. Even though I kind of already knew. I knew the writing was on the wall pretty much from the time I looked at the ingredients list. But here we are. So I was like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. Since I don't think spraying it directly on my face works very well, and I don't want it to get in my eyes, I just pumped it into my hand, into my palm, create a little pool of that liquid sunscreen, and then rubbed it between my hands and rubbed it on. So that application method works better. But even in the bathroom, when you're spraying it in your hand, you can see how much doesn't make it into your palm. Like, you can see the mist just kind of going off everywhere. And it's like, this is like, it's just not as effective of a way to put sunscreen on from like a protection standpoint. Because it's just, who knows what's landing on you and what isn't. So even if you're misting your face and you're like, that seems good, like half of that just got lost. So even if it's not a protection thing, it's like a waste of money thing. Apollo, easy, easy. Stay. Hold on. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. This way. Sorry. We have a runner coming up behind us, so eventually we'll have to pull over. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a little bit. Let me just stop so I'm not trying to like pause talking to you.
The dog is awesome.
Oh, thanks. You ready? You ready? Let's give him a bit. Let's give him some space. What do you smell? You're such a cute boy. You look so good in the sun. So white and sparkly, huh? Yeah, yes. Okay, okay, let's go. I'll keep you on leash for a minute so you don't run him down. So yeah, I was like, I'll spray it in my palm, I'll massage it in. That'll be the final test. If I can skip the misting directly into my eyes and face and choking, that'll be good. So I sprayed it in my palm, rubbed it. As soon as I started massaging it in, I got that wave of rubbing alcohol scent, and I was like, like just choking. And I'm like, this is not good, and it feels not good. And so like, put it on my neck, ears, did the whole thing, and let it, it dries down with that sheen. So now I'm like triple sheened because this is my third application of the day. And I got in the car I was driving, and I could just feel it irritating my skin. Like that alcohol just like makes my skin feel super tight. My lips feel really dry and almost like they're gonna crack, kind of dry, that like kind of crispy lip, because I got some of it on my lips and it dried out my lips. And so I know that my skin is gonna need a lot of TLC tonight because it is zapped of all hydration. Like it's any water content that was on the surface of my skin has been pulled off because that alcohol just dries everything out, and it feels not good. Those with like incredibly oily skin might be like into it, or those that are makeup wearers, because it's not like a normal sunscreen. It dries, like I said, with that satiny finish. It's a little oily, so I don't know how makeup would apply over it, but it's not like a thick lotion. So I get it. I get why people might like it, but those that experience dehydrated or dry skin, like this is it's going to exacerbate that problem. So, yeah, sucking all the moisture off of your skin is not ideal. So, their lotion formulation, superb, but I think they might be going for these like old school like formulations, or maybe not. Maybe they're really modern formulations, but this just feels very old school spray sunscreen. I love the packaging. I love it to death, but it's just not for me, at least this particular product. And it's never going to be every single thing I use is amazing. There's going to be skincare brands that you're like, I like this, but I don't like this. So this is definitely one of them. I'll probably save the bottle if I can rinse it out really cleanly and put something else in it, maybe like some sort of hydrating mist or something, just so I can still have the 80s nostalgic bottle. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, it's not good. I should have put lip balm on before we came out here because my lips feel so dry, and like they actually feel a little chapped. Like that's how drying it was. So anyway, that's Super Spritz SPF 50 from the brand Vacation. You'll hear about it again when I do another finish and review skincare edition, because it's just gonna sit there until I review it. But the body sunscreen, fantastic. They have a couple other products in their lineup that are really cool, and I can't wait to share with you, that I've picked up. They're all either body or lip products. So yeah, I'm not giving up. They have on their site. They have a Vacation brand beach towel that is so cool that I'm probably gonna get. And then they also have all of their lip balms are SPF 30, and they are like different desserts that you would have at like a resort hotel in that era. So there's like this, I think it's like cherry or strawberry jello mold flavor or scent. And then there's a bananas Foster scent, and like a couple of those other like flambe kind of at the table style desserts. So I'm like, it's such cool branding. They even have candles, and they've made up this whole story, their whole backstory. And one of them is like they were like a sponsor of some sort of like Miami tennis championship of like 83 or something like that, or 89, or I don't know. So they have this whole lore of them sponsoring this tennis championship. So they have a lot of tennis themed shirts and merchandise, but they have a candle that's called Ball Boy, and it's supposed to smell like tennis balls, and like it's just like very interesting different like merch that they have that I am all about. So I already have my basket put together. So I'm gonna get the ball boy candle and the beach towel. And I think they also have a visor, a sun visor that says vacation on it. It's a very, like, I think my stepdad wore stuff like that. Like just the visor. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to get that. So I might get the vacation visor too. But anyway, so that's the update on this sunscreen. Is I'm not using it again. And it's a good excuse to film that unready because I want to get home and get this off of my face and put some hydration back into it. And that's a good thing to do during a nighttime routine. So that's what's going to happen. What else? I was trying to think in the car of like what else I have to talk about. Let's see. Let's get around this curve and we'll see if I can let you off, buddy. Whew, it is warm. It's crispy out here, huh? You're doing good. You're doing good. Should I let you off? Be a good boy. Okay. So between Monday and today, what had happened was not a lot of work related things. We had one more site visit. This was just an all HR site visit that we got to do this week. So we went to one of our facilities and they gave us a tour, but they didn't give us as in-depth of a tour. So we were there for our HR meeting. So they have a conference room at this location. And so we just met there instead of at our normal office and had a catered lunch and had our meeting, but it was like an extended meeting talking about goals and stuff. There was, I think, a dozen of us just talking about goals. It was just longer than our normal bi-weekly meeting, so it justified making a special trip. And originally they were supposed to give us a tour of our lab, but everyone was so busy there at the lab that they were like, yeah, we can't do tours today. So I was like, okay, so we essentially came here. We drove to a different location to have the same meeting, but a little bit longer, but you paid for lunch. I guess that's okay. So we had our meeting. Hey, bud, come with me. Come with me. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. So yeah, it was a good lunch, so it was worth it. So we had our long meeting, and then the meeting didn't go super long, as long as we thought. And so the other, essentially this building is owned by a local university. We just are partnered with them and have one floor of the building to our company. And so one of the volunteers that works in the rest of the building was like, I'll give you a tour. So she kind of gave us like a brief, shortened 20-minute tour of the stuff that isn't involved with our company. And they have some gardens outside, and they're using all these different methods for landscaping and stuff, just to see what works, what doesn't work. And so yeah, it was really cool, but I had all seen it before the week prior. And so she's like, all right, well, that's it. And so she didn't show us any of the other buildings. There's a building focused on like crop growth. And then there's another building focused on veterinary services, all connected, associated with this college. And so we were all done, and everyone was like, okay, well, guess that's it. And I was like, well, I know a coworker and I know this place pretty well because we've already been here and got a much more intensive tour, like a 2-hour tour. So if anyone wants to hang back, I can show you around a little bit. And Ashley was like, well, I actually have to get going. And I was like, no problem. So I ended up being the tour guide for another hour or so. Took them through the other floors of the building that we're in to show them the different stuff, the different displays and little exhibits that they have for families and stuff. And then we went to the production, or like the agriculture side, showed them around there. There's these greenhouses on the roof that I took them up to, and we got to see like they're doing kale and peppers and all sorts of stuff up there. So I took them up there, and then we went over to the vet side, the veterinary building, where they do procedures. Like, it's an actual vet clinic, like a running vet clinic with students, and they're also in partnership with one of the animal shelters here in Colorado. And so they do like spade and neutering, teeth cleaning, more major surgeries. Like it even functions as like an emergency vet service. But a lot of their surgery rooms, or I think all of them, there's like 5. Their operating rooms are all glass on one wall with cameras. So not only can you look right in and see, they even have like theater style seating outside around them so you can see all the rooms. But they also have cameras everywhere, so they have these big screens on the wall so you can see what they're doing. And yeah, it's really cool on one hand, especially if you're into that stuff. Like if your kid is really wanting to be a vet, or students that are in the veterinary track career path, it's really interesting to see. But if you're not ready for that, or you're squeamish to like blood and stuff, and seeing a little puppy dog, you know, under anesthesia getting worked on, it can be pretty jarring. So we walked up and they had a dog like on its back, belly up, and they just had it like open. And I was like, oh my God, not what I was expecting to see. Last time we went, it was like teeth cleanings, which were still pretty bloody work. But this was a lot. So, oops, sorry about the noise. Ooh, that's a loud one. I'll let you off again. Here you go. So yeah, there was a couple people in the group that were like, nope, and just like turned and walked away. So I took a little bit of a peek, but I am a little bit squeamish around other people's injuries. Not as squeamish around my own injuries. I can keep myself relatively calm and just figure out what needs to be done. But yeah, and seeing a little puppy and a kitty just out like a light, that freaks me out too. Like they're just very stiff and still. It really gets to me. So I did turn around myself, but we walked around the rest of that. And then me and one coworker, because Apollo, my roommate took Apollo to work that day. So we got done at about 2:30, and he was like, you want to just go like get a beer at this little place right here? So we did, just chatted for a little bit. Then I went and grabbed Apollo and took him home for a walk and all that stuff. So that happened this week. It was fun. I'm glad that we're kind of done with the traveling to different sites, even though it was really cool and really pretty at some of these sites that the company I work for owns. It was added stress at the end of the day because I still had to get all my work done. So I'm kind of glad that that's pretty much wrapped up. So yeah, that happened. And then I filmed, I edited and put together my Summer with the Masters Week 8 video, which went up this morning at the time of filming. So I hope you enjoy that. A little sip and sparkle with Tima over at DP with Sparklers. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, go take a look. It was one of my favorite videos to put together because it was very casual chat, and you can definitely hear the barbecue that I was having with friends going on in the background outside of the office. I didn't realize how much you could hear until I went through to start editing it, and I was like, it sounds like one of us is having a party or there's a group of people in the background the whole time. And I was like, yep, that was me, sorry. But I think it adds to the flavor of it. It was fun. So filmed or edited, got that all going. Look at how majestic he looks. Beautiful. You're beautiful. Come here. Come here. I love you. Yeah, I love you. You're very pretty. Yeah. So that went up, and then I filmed my very first finish and review skincare edition this past week. Essentially, I just covered all of the empty products or products I was finished using, and it didn't get as much traction as my other videos, which I understand. I totally get that because it's not diamond painting, it's completely off topic, but I'm hoping people will start to warm up to it a little bit. The folks that did watch it left a lot of people left some awesome comments of like, this was very helpful, I need to start doing this, or I need to, I've been trying to tackle this. So the engagement that is there is awesome. So thank you all so much for watching and putting up with my different tangents that I go down. It was a lot of fun. I had an absolute blast doing it. But weird thing that happened during that video is I filmed that in the evening, I think around like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And Scott was like, hey, what are you doing tonight? I was like, oh, I just have to film. I'm going to try to film this video. And then other than that, I'm pretty much free. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to go ride bikes. He mountain bikes. So he's like, I'm going to go bike with some friends. And when I come back, let's watch a movie or get dinner and hang out. And I was like, perfect. So I'm just hanging out at the house, starting to get ready to film. And I see Scott's truck pull up, which felt like too soon. Like usually they're gone for a few hours. And he was gone for like an hour and a half maybe. And his truck pulled up. I was like, oh, maybe he didn't go, or like it was a quick trip. I don't know what's going on. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna start filming. I'll just hit him up after I'm done. That way I can at least get this finished. And so as I'm setting up the camera and grabbing all the skincare, the door opens and he's like, Anthony? I'm like, yes, Scott, what's going on? He's like, do you have a sling? And I was like, a sling? Like what, for an arm? And he's like, yeah. I was like, let me check, because I have dislocated my shoulder a number of times years ago. And I was like, maybe I have a sling sitting around. And then I have a really intense sling that is like a rigid sling for after I got my shoulder surgery, so I could stop dislocating my shoulder so much. But like I said, that was years ago. I want to say 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And like, I'm sure I did not. If I did, it's probably in a storage tub in the garage, buried a mile deep in other stuff. So I was like, no, I don't have one. I was like, why do you need a sling? What's going on? He's like, I hurt myself. And he has his arm like tied in a sling made out of his shirt and a towel around his arm. I was like, what the hell happened? He's like, I think it's broken. I'm pretty sure it's broken. I don't know, but I'm gonna head over to the hospital. His girlfriend, Jen, took him to the hospital. And so I don't know if you could sense the stress in my voice during that video. And it's one of the, well, a lot of skincare videos have music playing in the background, but it was one of the reasons that I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to put music behind this, because I don't want people to hear my like slightly panicked breaths or my odd pauses, because I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, what's going on with Scott? The hospital too, like, does he need me to bring anything? Like, all that stuff was running through my head while I was filming that video, just like this level of stress, because I literally like hit record like a minute after he was like, all right, go to the hospital, bye. And I was like, okay, well, I have the camera and the lighting and all the skincare out. I'm gonna do it. And so I filmed that video, and then like right as soon as I was done recording, I texted him, I was like, are you okay? And he's like, yep, it's not broken, just banged up pretty bad. And so he got back to the house, and it was just on his like forearm. He has a bunch of bandages around it. I haven't seen the actual wound yet, but yeah. So there's that. So obviously he was pretty heavily medicated, and so he went straight downstairs. And I think his girlfriend Jen stayed that night just to kind of keep an eye on him. Apollo, let's go. Let's go. It's this way. This way. Go, go, go. Oh, it's nice and cool in the shade. So yeah, he's fine. Everything's fine. He just banged his arm up pretty good. And so, yeah, that was another thing that happened, this whole emergency moment. But he seems okay now. He hasn't been biking since then, obviously, because his arm's still super sore. But he went out with us, and yeah, so he's okay. He'll survive. He was wearing so we went to his hockey game on Thursday, and he obviously didn't get to play, but it was their championship game, so he wanted to go and cheer them on. So I went with him, and he was wearing a long sleeve shirt over his bandages because we decided to he wanted to sit next to the rink to like pound on the plexiglass and cheer on his team. So we were down there in the cold hockey rink and not in the heated seating area. We were down right next to the ice, and of course it's really cold, so he had like a long sleeve kind of flannel on. And then after the game, they didn't win, unfortunately, which is a bummer, but it was very close. And they've won two of their 3 championships thus far, so they're doing pretty good. But his teammates were coming off the ice, and he wanted to, like, you know, tell them good game, or, you know, whatever they say to each other. And one of his teammates grabbed his arm, like, thanks, man, you know, to, like, bring him in for a hug. And he was like, ah! And the guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. But you couldn't see his bandages because he put his shirt over them. And so he was, like, grabbing his arm. I'm like, yeah, you should maybe have a little, like, fake cast or something so people know not to grab your right arm. But I chuckled, but of course he didn't care for that. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much everything that happened this week. And then, like, you know, you've been with us today just bopping around and buying skincare. Oh, come here. Hi. So yeah, I ended up getting on Mary's Live. She had her shop launch today for Mary Mud, and I got one of everything. It's been a while since I've purchased from her. There's been a couple weeks where she's postponed the launch, and then there's been even more weeks where I'm just like, I don't want to buy more stuff. I already have enough stuff. I have plenty of Mary Mud, but she got me this week with her releases. I wasn't necessarily intending on buying all of them, certainly not all of them, but maybe just watching to watch and seeing what she comes out with. But it was like peak summer vibes from her this week. There was a peach Bellini, and I love that. That's a nice brunch drink. So I had to get that. And then she came out with another one that was like ocean waters or something like that. I can't remember. Or it's not, I don't know if it's Ocean Breeze. I don't remember, but there was an ocean themed one, and she sold me on it. She's like, it's kind of like bananas and suntan lotion. I was like, oh, that sounds like the sunscreen I'm wearing. So I had to get that. And then there was another one. I forget. I can pull it up. Let's see. Apollo, stay. Good boy. Let's see. Pulling up my Etsy. Please hold. Purchases. Here we go. Okay, so she had 2 of her Zodiac muds come out. She's been doing this Zodiac series. Every release, there's 2 months, or 2 Zodiac signs that she has a putty and a matching cover minder. I've missed, I think 10 have been released. This will be number 3 and 4 for me, so I missed the other 6. So 3 releases worth I didn't get my hands on, unfortunately, but that's okay. I did need to take a little break from amassing my Mary Mud. But she came out with Sagittarius this week and Pisces, and one of them she said was more of a manly scent, like it had like a musky scent, like a little bit of cedar, and I was like, oh, that sounds right up my alley. So I snagged that. Then there was Fresh Pear. Can you imagine? I'm so excited. I'm hoping it gives me pear Jelly Belly vibes. I love that kind of artificial pear taste from that candy, from those jelly beans. Banana kiwi, amazing. Oh, Apollo, stay. Hold on. Hi.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful dog.
Oh, thank you.
you doing there, buddy?
Say hi. Good job. Good job, bud. Yeah. Good job. He didn't try to jump at him. He just looked on in vague curiosity, which is perfect. Okay, sorry. So banana kiwi, that sounds amazing. Blackberry and vanilla, or black raspberry and vanilla. That sounds awesome. I'll have to ask her if she can do this at some point, but there is a blackberry, so not black raspberry, but like blackberry and cream, ice cream that one of the diners or one of the restaurants in the town that I grew up at used to have. If you watched my vlog where I took you around my hometown, I mentioned a restaurant called Doubletree. They had a blackberry and cream homemade ice cream that was so darn good. Now I want ice cream. So darn good. And if she could recreate a like blackberry and cream scent, I'd love her forever. I might have to write her about that. But black raspberry and vanilla sounded of a similar ilk. So I was like, gotta get that. And then the peach Bellini. Then she came out with a peanut butter cup, which she said she was on the fence about releasing, but one of her good friends sampled the scent and said it did smell like peanut butter cups to her. And Mary said she got more chocolate than peanut butter, but I'm curious. And then one that was a pretty pink flamingo that it kind of sounded like it was a fruity floral mix. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I loved the color of that mud. It was like all this different swirls of pink and glitter, very Barbie vibes. So it seemed timely. So I decided to snag that. So yeah, I got them all. Wasn't intending on getting them all, but every single one she announced, I was like, yes. And so before you knew it, I had a full cart, but it's good. I want to support her, as much as possible. And so I skipped almost, I'd say it's been probably a month, if not longer, since I purchased from her shop. So it was okay to pick up a few more, I suppose. I was thinking about it after I had placed that order. I was like, I have not finished. Apollo, let's go this way. Come on, sweetheart. Good boy, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Are you hot? We've done 1.84 miles. I was thinking about it today because I have started to try to use some of my older Mary Muds, just to try to start going by chronological order of kind of when I think I bought them. So I grabbed gingerbread to work on pretty much the majority of transparent. I used gingerbread Mary Mud, and I'm probably halfway through a piece of it now, and I'm like, I have not finished a single piece of Mary Mud at all. I haven't finished them all to the end. I just grabbed them based off of what my mood is like and what kind of scent I want to experience while I'm diamond painting that during that session. And so I don't use one up until it's gone and then move on to the next one. I just am like, ooh, I want floral today, and I want fruity today, or I want grass, or something like that. So I don't use them up till they're gone. But this kit, I was like, I'm gonna try to use as much of this gingerbread as I can, and I got about halfway done, and I'm like, okay, it's taken me. I started buying Mary Mud in November, and it's taken me this long to get halfway done with one of them, and I have 100. So I'm like, well, at this pace, if I stopped buying Mary Mud, I'd probably use it all up in 50, 60 years. So it's not about that. It's about the sense and the fun, and I just have to pace myself more. So yeah, I think one order a month, that was a good run, a good break. So I got that today, and then we had the Diamond Art Club releases, and so I ended up snagging I forget what it's called, but it's the You May Art that came out this week, or at the time you're watching this past Saturday. I can look that up too. I need to start utilizing the tools at hand. Okay, so let's go to the DAC site. Of course, it's right next to Etsy on my phone. But loading, loading, loading. Get those kits a loading. It's called Away From It All. Here's a picture of it if you want to see it. Away From It All. So I snagged that. I think it's really cool. I love the kind of swirly, colorful vibes. Katie over at Diamonds and Washi, we all know her, we all love her. She did the unboxing or the sneak peek for that, and when she unveiled the kit, I was like, all right, well, I don't really have a choice in the matter on this one. It's really cool. I could see myself adding some fun stuff to it. So I got that, and then I also got, I was almost not going to say it, but this will go up after Mia's live, but Mia is doing a diamond painting event early next year, focused on one particular kit, the Astronomer from Diamond Art Club. If you haven't seen that one, come on, baby. I'm gonna have to lock him up soon because there's a mud pit up ahead that he can smell, and he just runs off into the distance. I don't know exactly where it's at. All I know that he comes back filthy. So he smells, I don't know if it's like there's animals around there or just the stagnant water. He can smell it, and so he'll just make a beeline and just disappear into the woods and then come back. And both times that he's done that during the spring, he comes back just disgusting. So I will have to clip him up so we can get past that. Okay, so let me move this over here. Let me close this. Let me drop that. My orders. So the Astronomer, let's see if it'll load. Come on, load for me. Astronomer. So it doesn't just let you click on it from there, does it? No, of course not. Of course not. I've got to search it. How do I search? Here we go. Sorry. Astronomer. Okay, so this is a 105 by 70 centimeter square drill kit, 66 colors, 4 ABs. This is from the artist. Still loading. Maybe it won't load. Oh, Miles Pinkney. He's got a very interesting artist photo. But here's the image. It's called the Astronomer. I remember liking it when it first came out, and I honestly was on my wish list or shopping list when it first was released. But then I was like, this thing is huge. It was right around the same time I think I was getting into cross-stitch conversion, so I was like, I'd rather focus on a cross-stitch conversion. Apollo, come on, let's go. And so I ended up not getting it. And since then it has gone on sale, so it's now on sale. And Mia is doing an entire event focused on that kit. I guess she must really love it. I don't know the backstory of why that kit, but yeah, so it's like a diamond painting non-event, so I don't think there's going to be like prizes and, you know, the whole thing, but it is just going to be an event where everyone works on that exact same kit, the Astronomer. So it wasn't on my radar to get anymore, but I want to participate in an event that Mia does. I think that'll be a lot of fun. She's so cool, and I love listening to her story times and her whip and chats and her lives, her unboxings. Like, I love all of her content. So when I found out that she was doing an event, or was reminded that she was, I was like, oh, I should probably snag that kit. So it's been sitting in my cart for about a week because I wanted to wait to see if there was any other kits I could tag on to that for free shipping. Because of course they price it like 50 cents less than the threshold for free shipping, so you kind of have to get another one. So then that You May Art kit came out, and I was like, perfect, I'll snag these two. So I did make a couple Diamond Art Club purchases. And what else? I was listening to Jade's live this week. She launched a bunch of stuff. She announced that she has signed Medusa the Doll Maker, which was a really popular artist over on DIY Moon Shop. Jade was able to get her signed on, or get them signed on. So she now will be carrying Medusa the Doll Maker kits, which is awesome because I have seen those images. They actually do kind of speak to me. Oh, Apollo, easy. Stay. Uh-huh. Nope, no chasing. No chasing. Chill out. Oh, we're coming up to the pit of mud. Apollo, stay. Good boy. You're doing really good stays today. I spoke too soon. Stay. Easy. Apollo. Easy. Hey, hey. He just like goes to a slow walk. Sometimes he'll stop, but sometimes he'll do that. It's a little hazy just because of the clouds kind of coming up over the foothills, but it's still really pretty. What was I talking about? Oh, so Medusa the Dollmaker. There's a couple of images from them. I don't know what how they like to be addressed, so I'm just gonna say them. Couple images from them that are really cool, but weren't enough to push me over the edge to like paying for the DIY Moon Shop shipping and all of that stuff. Like they weren't absolute loves. I just thought they were kind of cool. Here's our little vista lookout area that we always stop at. After the rain, there's kind of like a piney, kind of woodsy, grassy set in the air, and it's just like, it's so refreshing. So refreshing. Love it. Let's keep going, big boy. Come on. Good boy. This way. This way. I don't know what that is. Let's go. But I'm excited for that artist and for customers because now you get the really awesome quality jaded gem shop drills and canvas and all of that good stuff. So I'm curious, that's something else I'm gonna have to look up. I'm curious if as part of her licensing agreement with Medusa the Dollmaker, if Jade had the option to do crops and round or square and sizes and stuff, because DIY Moon Shop never offered that. They think they only would do round or square drills as like your only thing you could pick, but we're this far back into the hike, I have less service, so, oh, there it goes, nope. Keep switching between LTE and 5G. Google, will you work? Yes. Let's see if you'll go to yes. Oh, let's load up Jaded Gem Shop. Yeah, because I didn't check that. I'm wondering if that's dependent on the artist, like what they're willing to allow Jade to do. Okay, so Medusa the Dollmaker. So she now has this kit, Gamer Girl, which is one that I did like. And yes, you can get it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different full image sizes and 5 different cropped sizes. I wonder what the crop looks like. Oh, cool. So there's the crop. Nice. You can get it as big as 80 by 120, round and square. Nice. Cool. And you can also upgrade with crystal drills or ABs or both if you so choose. So nice. So I'm excited to see, you know, I said in my last vlog, never want to see a small shop close, and hopefully, you know, they're able to make adjustments and, you know, right the ship before that happens. But now that it has happened, it is going to leave a lot of artists that were licensed with them either not having diamond paintings or, you know what I mean, they're just going to be without a company to back them. And so I'm hoping shops like Jaded Gem Shop get the opportunity to come in and utilize that artwork that way, that those artists can make a little bit of an income in that regard. So I think that's cool. I'd love to see the artist that I purchased from DIY Moon Shop, DJ Paeste. I'd love to see him license with the shop like Jaded Gem Shop, because I think she could really do that artwork a lot of justice. So I may have to reach out to him. I was even mentioning it to, I was talking to somebody about it, And I was like, I wonder if he would be willing to, because he was a Filipino graffiti artist, so I don't know if his connection to the owners of DIY Moonshop was also because they lived in the same country. You know, maybe there was that connection there that, you know, that created that bond and to encourage him to sign with them. But if he's open to having another shop carry his images, I think I might message him on Instagram. He doesn't seem super active on Instagram, at least when I checked when I was working on that kit. He didn't seem like he had posted in quite some time. So I'll have to do a little digging and reach out to him and see if that's something that he'd be interested in, because I'd love to get that kit again done by Jade. That would be awesome. So yeah, and she's kind of already had an eye for looking at the colors, because she was one of the people that I tapped on the shoulder. I was like, this is what Pixel Stitch is giving me for the DMCs to swap out. Do you think this looks right? And so she like confirmed or offered a different suggestion. And then I ended up ordering my substitution drills from her. So she's already seen that image and done a little bit of charting on it, just, you know, in passing, because I asked for her opinion on what colors should be what. So, oh my gosh, this cloud is, oh, this is nice. This cloud is giving us shade and a little breeze. Oh, I just want to sit here now. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Let's come over here. Let's come over here and look. Everyone, you're watching this like, Anthony, you show us this freaking view every time. We've seen it 10 times, but I love it every time. I can never get enough. It's why I live where I live. Excuse the giant electrical pole, but aside from that, let's see. I just love it. I just love it out here. It's so much fun. I don't think this camera picks up colors in like sunset and night very well, as much as like my phone does. So I don't know how good of an image you get. I think the shadows are a little too deep on this camera. Like when there's a shadow being cast in the mountains, I feel like you might lose some detail. I'll have to pay special attention when I go to edit this, but I feel like the last sunset hike we did, I was like, oh, it looks kind of shadowed and dark, but we'll see. You hot? We're getting there. We're at 2.4 miles. We got about a mile left, bud. We're getting there though. So yeah, I'm really hopeful for those artists that they get snagged up, and geez, it almost makes me think, hold on. It almost makes me think that someone should have been keeping a list of like all the artists on DIY Moonshop that, like, for no nefarious reasons, while they were open, of course, but now it's like, in hindsight, it's like, oh, I wish that a list like that existed so we could, you know, collectively make sure that those artists got an opportunity elsewhere from, you know, whatever shop. So we'll see. Who knows how that's going to shake out. I think who was the other one that was super popular I think she ended up landing with Diamond Art Club after DIY Moonshop closed over the past week. It was like, I think it might be Margaret Morales, which is like a super duper popular artist. And I think DIY Moonshop immediately snapped them up. Like, yeah, we're gonna need you over here, ma'am. Which makes sense, totally makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. There's been some other updates via people getting emailed directly from DIY Moonshop, and just people telling their story over on social media. I guess and I don't know if this is like public knowledge or it's on a Facebook group, so I'm gonna say yes. But a couple artists on that group raised their hand. They're like, yeah, we haven't been paid since March of this year, so we kind of knew what was going to happen. So yeah, so my guilty feelings of having criticism towards their shop, I don't think played any role in collectively or not in them making the decision to shut their doors. I think something much larger and much more, something was happening for longer than that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I also heard some scuttlebutt that even though they kind of knew that they couldn't pay their manufacturer, this is what it seems, allegedly, it seems that they knew that they could no longer pay their manufacturer for product. They continued to accept orders, I think, thinking that what it sounds like to me, here's what I would assume is going on there with that situation. So you can't pay your manufacturer, you can't pay your artists for whatever reason. Something happened where money got diverted elsewhere, or who knows. But couldn't pay your manufacturer, couldn't pay the artists, so they continued to accept orders, maybe with the thought of like, okay, we'll get these orders in, we'll get the revenue in from that. That will allow us to pay the artists, pay our manufacturer, and we'll just have to be playing catch up for a little bit until things kind of balance themselves out. I don't know if there was a family emergency or something happened where, money was needed. I don't know. I can't speculate to that. But yes, in my head, it's the story is being told from these accounts of what happened to customers and to the artists. Like, all right, well, we're just going to have to try to keep up. But then for whatever reason, that did not happen. So even though they were still accepting orders, it doesn't sound like that money ever got to artists or manufacturers or their or Shopify to keep their domain open. So it all just kind of came crashing down because there was nothing to fall back on at that point. So much so that I've heard a lot of people say that they won't be issuing refunds and they will not be shipping any more kits. So if you ordered from them from a certain amount of time, they're saying that they're not able to give you your money back or fulfill your order, which is like, I don't think that's how that works without somebody raising a red flag. I know they're not within the US, but if that was a US company, then you could very easily, hopefully, dispute that with your credit card company or, threatens, I guess the best word. I can't think of another word, but like, you can't just accept people's money and then say, you're not getting your product or your money back, bye. But I don't know what the regulations are in the Philippines that might make that somehow okay. But it just, it's just, and I hope, if anything else, maybe other shops can look at this, what's happened here as like a what not to do, so anyway. You want to stay here? Good boy. You're doing good. You're doing great. Okay.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So yeah. And no means to disparage them. I'm just reciting what I've heard as far as accounts of what people's experiences have been in the past week or so. I'm kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, especially when you're deep in this diamond painting community and have a good handle on all the different shops and you're active in the social part of it. When something like this happens, it's, it is something that, is kind of front of mind and you think about and talk about. So I'm not trying to stir anything up. And at the end of the day, the shop's closed. So it's not like, how dare you? It's like, well, I don't think I'm impacting their sales. Not that I don't think I was ever, but it's a moot point now. So it's just kind of, it's interesting the way that they've approached this, the life cycle of their business. And I don't know, I would just, if they don't have the money, they don't have the money. I guess there's nothing you can really do about it. But now it just makes me more curious of like, why wouldn't you have at least enough to pay your artists back? Like, how do you go that deep in the red with like a shop that is an online only presence? Shop domains are pricey if you're just getting started, but they're not a Shopify account is not exorbitantly expensive. And so, you think the first place that, that money goes when someone orders a kit is here's the artist cut, and here's how much it's going to cost to pay the manufacturer, and here's how much it's going to cost to ship it, and here's how much it's going to cost. This portion of this kit goes to keeping the website up. So you snip all those pieces off, and then the piece that you have left in your hands is your profit or for extra marketing or whatever you decide to do. But you gotta at least get those artists, and maybe that just wasn't enough when everything's said and done, when all those pieces are cut off, to sustain them. But I feel like that math should have been done, or that red flag should have gone up way earlier than, oops, we're not going to pay anybody, pay our artists anymore, but still sell their products. Like, I don't know, the math just isn't adding up. And like I said, I'm sure there was some sort of extenuating circumstance where a lot of money was needed in a short amount of time, and they thought they could maybe make it back before things got out of hand. I don't know. And it's not my business to know what that was, but I still feel like you gotta at least pay those artists. So, yeah, it's rough. So anyway, I'm trying to think of like anything else that's been going on in the diamond painting world. Not too much. I mean, it's the end of summer with the Masters. The last video was today. Katie and I have some plans for the grand prize announcements. So just stay tuned for more details on that, but I'm pretty excited for what we have coming. She and I had a call. Ooh, gosh, I don't even remember what day that was this week, but her and I chatted for a while. I love gabbing with Katie. It's a lot of fun. So we had a chat this week, hammered out some details. Oh, I think that was Wednesday. Hammered out some details for what we're going to wrap things up with. So stay tuned. More information probably coming this coming week, I would assume. So yeah, be on the lookout for all that stuff. Really exciting things. Are you excited, Apollo? Are you excited? But it's been such an amazing event. I had so much fun doing it. I was telling Katie, I really thought that, and I think I mentioned this in a previous vlog, I thought that it would just take a lot more, as far as like, I thought that every day I'd be like, all right, emails, let's get to the emails. All right, we've got 30 of those. Okay, I've got Instagram messages, get to those. Comments, get to those. But it was much more chill. It's a very chill event as far as like the vibes go. It's really nice. So I think it was a good, and I think Katie even mentioned it, like a good intro to me co-hosting or, participating in an event this way, because it's, it's not like she threw me into like drills and chills or something that's like massive. So I still feel like this is a really big event throughout the year in the diamond painting community, but it's just the vibes were not that I was expecting anything bad, but it was awesome. I feel like I got a lot out of it in terms of learning about hosting an event, and from just exploring my own artwork that I was working on and stuff. So, and I got to chat with a lot of cool shop owners too. So, you ready? Keep it going up the hill. You can do it. Hike, hike, hike. Good boy. Good boy. He's been such a sweetheart recently. I don't know if it's the heat, just makes him want to lay down a lot. But he's been extra cuddly, a lot more responsive to commands. He's just, I don't know, we've been having a really good, I'd say like the past like month and a half, he's just been, I think we've just kind of found our like true groove, and maybe he's kind of moving out of that full-on like puppy adolescent stage and just being a little bit more adult dog or teen dog, I don't know. But yeah, he's just been finding a nice rhythm, a nice pattern. He eats all of his food now. I don't have to like trick him into eating stuff. Even on my lazy days where I just give him his kibble and don't put all of his fixins on it, he still eats it. So I don't know, we're just finding a nice rhythm, no tummy issues, knock on wood, no real attitude or behavioral things that have been popping up. I mean, he's still not perfect, or I wouldn't call him a trained dog, but he does the things that I need him to do for us to both remain sane. The rolling and poop thing is the only thing that is an ongoing issue, but it hasn't happened since we were up in the mountains, so it was like the second, I think that was like the 2nd or 3rd of July that happened. And then it happened twice while we were on the other hike here. But if I keep him on leash in areas that I know there's cows that have been around, then we're usually pretty good. But I've if I go on hikes and it happens, like I was thinking about it, like what if that happens like 4 miles into a 8-mile hike or a 6-mile hike? I'm not gonna just bail on it and just turn around. I'm like, no, I'd probably use some of my water that I have with me, clean them off best I can. I have little makeup remover wipes or cleansing wipes that I use for my face. I can clean him up enough so it's not so gross looking. He'll probably still smell, but it won't be physically as upsetting to me. And then we'll finish the hike, it's fine. And I'll wash him off when I get home or get to the car. So I might actually start putting a little thing of puppy shampoo in my car and maybe a couple gallons of water and a towel, maybe even like a little to-go bag. That way, if it does happen, it's not like ruining the day, So yeah, it's just about preparing. And I've been talking to so many dog owners who are like, yep, that sounds about right for my dog or my husky. So it's not abnormal, I guess. Ooh, we just hit our calorie goal. Can we hit our exercise goal too? That's awesome. Hi. So yeah, closing our rings today. We've burned almost 500 calories on this little jaunt. 3.0 or 3.10 miles. 3.1. Why did I get on the tangent of Apollo? I have no idea. I don't know what led us to talking about him being a good boy, but he has been. So that's all been going really good. Work is still busy, but manageable. I've just been really focusing on just knocking out as many of the a lot of high levels of communication. So rather than sending an email requesting something from a manager and then waiting however long it takes for them to respond, I'm getting on our IM and tapping people on the shoulder after a day, let's keep the ball rolling, because if I don't do that, then it all hits at once when everyone remembers they need to do something for recruitment. It all just comes in at once, and then I'm flooded, and I just get these waves of tons of tasks. But now I've just been kind of trying to pick at everything every day to keep it all moving. So, hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good looking dog there.
Thanks. So you can see over here, I haven't forgot I was talking about work, but I want to show you what that lake looks like from up here. So we started down there and we've come all the way up and around and back down, and now we're starting to come back up to where we started, kind of. We break off a little bit. We don't go the exact path back to the car. It's slightly different, but anyway, so yeah, I just looked at the camera. We're at 8% battery, so if I do die on you, I'll plug in another battery, but hopefully we'll make it to the end. So yeah, it's everything's kind of finding a nice groove. I don't know. This is such a personal thing, but hold on just a second. social wise, I have a lot of friends. We do a lot of stuff together all the time, but we're all starting to get to the age where people are finding finding a partner, either, long term or what have you, or getting married. And one of my friends did have a kid. So I feel like this is such a heavy topic to dive into so late on in the hike. Like, we're almost done. But I definitely have been getting tinges of like, all right, you need to get back out in the dating scene. I've never found it to be particularly hard for me to get out there. And so I think that's one of the reasons why I don't do it as frequently, because I'm kind of like, oh, well, I know I can kind of jump in the pond and meet some new people. And so I'm never worried about like the timing of it all, because every time I try to actively, start dating, things pick up relatively fast, knock on wood. So I just never make it like a huge priority, but then I get these pangs of like, I gotta start figuring something out, Hold on. Okie dokie. All right, we're back on the road. Just left the parking lot. Apollo did great. He was a good boy. Right as I was saying the battery might die, I turned the corner and there was a whole like train of people and their dogs, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just stop talking until we're past these folks, and then we'll have maybe a couple minutes at the very end to chat. And of course, then the battery died. So I was like, I don't want to swap it out. Let's just get in the car. But he did great. He didn't jump at any dogs or try to like run towards them. I just would stop as they passed. And he stopped too. And at one point he sat down because there was like 5 dogs that came by, and some of them barked at him and tried to jump at him. And he did get scared. One dog did scare him. It was like a German Shepherd, I think it was, barked really loud and kind of jumped at him, and he like got between my legs. But the sun. So it's hard to tell. Well, yeah, you can tell this sunscreen is too shiny. Like, I like a nice, healthy glow. A little bit of I don't mind like a intensely glowy skin, but this is verged into like, especially if I'm looking right in the sun, it looks greasy. It doesn't feel that way. It actually feels nicer than like a lotion sunscreen, but that's because it's not thick like a lotion. But my skin feels so tight right now. My lips feel super dry. I'm just like, and you can kind of see that I'm squinting a little bit. It's because my eyes are burning from this sunscreen. So I want to get home and get all this washed off and do my evening routine. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan. But I was saying that I was bringing up a heavy topic, not heavy, but it's just like personal, right at the end of this video, but it's fine. But yeah, I was just saying that, I'm getting to the age, and my friends are getting to the age where they're starting to have more long-term partners and talks of engagements. And one of my friends, the friend couple, just had a newborn last month. So like, we're all getting to that age where like people start finding their people and kind of you start to drift off, and now you've got a new group of friends that includes your partner, or once you're, a parent, things kind of change from like a social scene. And so I'm starting to get these like feelings, like a little bit of like, I'm starting to be the last single person of the group. And that's not true, but there are others, but we're few and far between now. And so sometimes it ends up feeling like, okay, the majority of social situations that I'm in, like I'm the only non-coupled person, and it doesn't usually bother me, but when it does, it does. You know what I mean? Like, it comes and goes, or I'll get these waves of like feeling a little third wheel or fifth wheel or seventh wheel or whatever the case may be. And so I don't think this got cut off from the last clip, but I've never really struggled dating, but I never put myself in the position to meet new people like that. I just am never just casually in one of those situations. The times that I've dated has always been either being set up by somebody or like if I was actively pursuing that, like on an app or something like that. But I don't even know if this exists anymore, but I've never been like at a bar or out somewhere and it just so happens I meet somebody and like we click. And if it has happened, I've never took the cues to be like, can I get your number or anything like that. So but when I am intentional and I get on the apps and I'm asking around if, friends know friends, that, that type of thing. Or at one point I was on this app called Meetup where you'd meet like social groups. And I did this hiking with Pride group where it was just gay guys, we just meet up at like a trailhead and hike, and you just hike and you chat, and they're usually pretty short hikes, nothing super intense. And so I did do some dating from doing that, because then it's like a shared interest. So maybe I'll get back into that, but I'll do it, and then I kind of prove to myself that I can still date and everything's fine. And then I kind of just, if I'm not hitting it off with that particular person, or, I've only had one what I would consider long-term relationship. But yeah, they usually kind of fizzle out or whatever, and then I kind of am like, all right, well, I checked that box from, I filled that battery for now, checked off that box, so then I kind of just fall off the map and just don't date for another 6 months, 8 months or whatever, and then I get back into this mood, and then I hit the ground running, and the cycle continues. But I'd like to start being a little bit more intentional with that and trying to meet some more people. So yeah, I don't know why that popped in my head there at the very end. I think it's just been at front of mind because I have been hanging out with friends a lot this summer. Like almost every day we're doing something, but I'm most often the only single person there, maybe one other person. And I don't really have anybody, I don't have any other gay men in my like social scene really. Maybe a couple, but not anyone that I'm trying to date. So yeah, it's just I want to get back out in the scene, and I think that's probably going to cut into diamond painting time even more than everything else already has, because usually I'm diamond painting after work at night, and I kind of want to start, trying to get some dates going here and there, maybe go out to a couple of the bars in town, and hang out. And Scott's offered to be my wingman a number of times, but it always comes to like the night before or the day of that I'm like, oh, they have karaoke at XYZ bar. It's like, okay, well, let me know if you end up going. And then I get home and I'm like, do I really want to do the whole song and dance of like, oh, my name's this, my name's Anthony. Like, I just get so like put off by it for some reason that I always end up just canceling. Or if I do go, I'll go, but like if I've gone by myself, sometimes I'll go with the intention of like, all right, get out there, be a little social butterfly, see what happens. And then I go by myself, all confident, like I finally have it in me to go do it. And then I get there and I'm like just kind of like a wallflower, because I'm just like, everyone's here with friends, or they have their folks that they're there with. So it's always awkward to like, I'm not a strike up a conversation solo with a group of people. That's not my jam at all. So I end up just kind of sitting by myself, or like I'll engage with like one person just kind of, offhand, and then I'm like, all right, I sang my song, I'll go, I'm gonna leave. So I just need to be more intentional, because when I do put my mind to it, I don't feel like, oh, this thing needs to be tightened. Is it tight? It might just be breaking. When I do put my mind to it, I not to toot my own horn or anything, but I've never felt like, I don't know, it just, you end up getting on an app and matching with a bunch of people, and then you message them, and some people never message you back, a couple do, a couple it's just the messaging, and then one or two out of that group you end up meeting up for dinner a few times or whatever. So yeah, I'm not concerned about it. It's just that I haven't done it in a long time, and I think I need to get back into it, because even if it's just someone I'm casually dating, like to be like, oh, my friends are gonna do this thing, do you want to come with? It's just nice to have that person that you can kind of like, you know, like if everyone else is kind of off in their own couple's world, you're not just like, well, I'll look at my phone for a little bit. Like, you know, it's nice. It's nice. So, yeah. I'll still keep single and placing. I'm not going to change it to looking and placing or hopeful and placing, but yeah, I need to start branching out, especially as we're all getting older. Like I said, it's nice. You know, I'm not saying I'm trying to find a husband or anything by any means, but you know, it's nice to have. You know, even just to date, I find people very interesting, and so if anything, it's just like, oh, I get to analyze somebody, and they have to just let me do it. so yeah, and I have fun. I like you've seen it in vlogs. I love doing random things on the weekend, and I learned that from my mom. Was also a very sporadic activity person. We would always just on the weekend, like, you know what we should do? Let's go do this completely random thing. Let's go on a tangent today. And so I've carried that spirit of like, I want to ride a roller coaster this morning. I'm gonna go do that. And so I think anytime I have dated, that has been a quality that I think like is fun. It's fun when you're dating to be like, you know what? I want a really specific dim sum restaurant 2 hours away, and we're gonna go on a hike on the way, and there's a balloon festival in town. Look at this sunscreen. Look at this. Ugh. What are you doing? Why? Why are you making me look like that? I'm like eyes are watering. What a mess. There we go. That's better. So yeah, it's just something that's been on my mind, and something I'm gonna probably turn some focus to. So my evenings, my dance card might be, fingers crossed, might be filling up a little bit. I'm so sorry about this camera mount. Let me see if I can. Oh, I think that's better. Sorry, we were about a half a twist too loose. So yeah, my hope is that I'll be exploring that some more, and so who knows, but once again, content around here will evolve and change. So if it gets a little quiet, just know that I'm out there dancing my little butt off. Shake it. So yeah, who knows, but just something I've had on my mind, and so it ends up here. But I think that's it. I'm gonna take the boy home and go scavenge for some food, reset to the skin, film that video, and that'll be up. Who knows, that might even go up before this, because usually I try to put these up on Wednesdays. So if I get a wild hair and decide I want to post this between now, Saturday, and Wednesday, then you might have already seen said video that I've been talking about. So if not, it's upcoming. But anyway, my face is dry, my lips are dry, the skin around my eyes feels like it's stretched tight, and I'm also watering. My eyes are watering, and I just want I want this off. So I'm gonna let you go, and we'll see you on the next one. I may be doing, not that this matters right now, because you'll see it eventually, but I plan on doing a longer hike with Apollo tomorrow, which is Sunday. I think I already have the hike picked out. It's down near Colorado Springs, but a different area that we typically go to. And so I want to take him on that. So we may be doing a day trip hike, and I'll most likely record a vlog. I don't know, I can almost guarantee you it'll be music heavy, because we've already talked today. And so if I can drum up some more topics for tomorrow, maybe I'll need to write them down. But if I can drum up some more topics for tomorrow, great. If not, it might just be like a little intro, a little interlude chatting here and there, but for the most part, just a music and hike situation. Because it is a longer hike. It's, I think, 10 miles. So yeah. be on the lookout for that possibly. And that's all I have for you. So thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content with friends, family members, anyone that you think might take some value out of this content. Otherwise, happy placing. We'll see you next time. Bye. 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 Say bye, Apollo. Bye.